Jets are in control. Man, that looks great.
Jets! 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 Jets!
Oh my God, it's so beautiful. 78 degrees, Jets football, and we're winning. That's what's going on today. That's why everybody's so psyched. This isn't no happenstance. This is a guarantee, just like Joe Namath said. See that?
There are few things in life you cannot put a price on. Loyalty, tradition, fierce passion. Today is a gigantic family reunion because finally, they're back.
All right, here we are, Jets fans, on the day after the draft concludes. We're all kind of hung over a little bit, I'd say. A little tired, a little groggy maybe, a little slap happy. We took a look at hundreds of players and scenarios, and we argued our points. And the interesting thing about this particular draft, more so than many drafts that I've watched with the New York Jets, this one felt something like one of our mock drafts would look. Isn't it crazy? Until the very end, and you lose. It's hard to, we get into the 5th, the 6th, the 7th round. It's hard to nail down who the team is going to take. But I'll tell you, man, coming away with Fashanu up top after a trade back, by the way, squeeze that lemon a little bit. Getting Fashanu, then getting Malachi Corley, then getting Braylon Allen and Jordan Travis. I mean, is this not one of our mocks? It's crazy. It's crazy. Then I tell you where it got weird, but still positive in my opinion, is the Isaiah Davis pick. Now, you guys know, if you've been hanging out in the mocks with us on Monday night, Dom C and myself, or the Talking Jets panel, or what a Thursday thick of it with Gunny and Jeremy and everybody, even the armchair GM, right, with Tigo, we talk about these players. Braylon Allen was running back one for me, as far as for the New York Jets. Not running back one in the class, but the number one running back that I wanted to see the Jets get. If he was off the board, what did we say? It was Audric Estime, Isaiah Davis. Those were the top three running backs. So the idea that the Jets, we didn't get another wide receiver, we didn't get another offensive lineman, but to come away with two bruising style like that, kind of, they run hard, they run heavy. To come away with those guys, two of the top three, in my estimation, for the Jets, is crazy. Now, it's weird because it's a running back stable, right? It's, we got Breece Hall, we got Izzy Abanikanda, you now have Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis. I will say this, those other guys that we have running around, they're they're not going to be here very much longer, and that's fine because they're just who they are, right? Now, the other interesting thing is that the way I see this with the running back thing is that Nick Bawden can go. We don't need that roster spot anymore for Nick Bawden. So now you think about this, guys, for your heavies. You got Breece Hall, you got Braylon Allen, you got Isaiah Davis, you got Tyler Conklin, you got Jeremy Ruckert, you got Yeboah, and then Kuntz, he's catching a little bit of love right about now, right? I think this off, and we're rumored to be going more to transitioning more to a power scheme, which, by the way, you guys have heard me say it 1,000 times. I'm a big fan of simplicity. Don't get me wrong. I love pre-snap motion, all those kinds of things. I love misdirections. I love jet sweeps. I love all that stuff. But schematically, I am a big fan of my guy is going to beat your guy. We're going to run it right into your mouth. And we're going to get 4 yards plus per play. And that's that. I'm a big fan of that, man. You get the horses to do that, and you just outman the team. So, before we get into the JFM AVT thing, I want to say hello to you guys. Talk a little bit about the draft. I put a poll up there for you guys. Letter grades, right? See how we feel. You know, when we're in it, the emotions can be weird, right? You wanted this guy, he's right there, and they don't take him. Yeah. So it makes it feel like a bad pick, all those kinds of things. And then there are guys, quite frankly, that you don't think should be picked and are picked. So it can be an emotional scenario. So here we are, today removed. There's no draft today for the first day in a while. There's no draft. There's no mock. There's no draft. So it's an interesting thing. But let's say hello to some people. Grzanka is in the house. Great draft. Yeah, I like it too, man. That's how I felt. I know lots of typos here, but I tried to agree with you if I could speak English. Boogie Down Bronx is here. What's up with you, man? Good to see you. Hunter's in the house. Look at that. Liked all the guys. He also says Jordan Travis can be the next Jordan Love in my sit a few years, right? Dude, Jordan Travis is a very, very interesting quarterback prospect because it's the injury that pushed him to where we got him in the 5th round, everybody. So I thought he was going to be a 4th round pick all day long. Guess not. So we got him, man. I just can't even believe it. Harlan's in the house. Let's see how the Jets use. Right. Well, we got some time for that, Harlan. I think we're going to have to, situationally, timeline wise, we got to live where we are. We don't get a chance to see these guys on the field for a minute. We will see rookie minicamp. That's good. Alan Doge says, killing the draft. Alan Doge, if you guys don't know Alan, which I believe you do, but he's Malachi Corley. He's been the president of the Malachi Corley fan club for months. It was the guy he wanted. We can come away with all kinds of other guys. If we come away with Malachi Corley, I'm going to be happy. That's Alan Doge. So congratulations to Alan. Good for you, buddy. I thought of you immediately. When we took Malachi Corley, I thought of you immediately. Curly Norman. I know. Now, and we'll get to that, Curly. We're going to talk about exactly that. So I'm going to add Bryce Huff to the mix as well to this conversation. But I think you're not alone in that sentiment. Ryan Rivera is here. What's up, man? Good to see you. Good afternoon. Snowball in the house helping us out Thursday night. I think you won the cornhole boards, right? Snowball? That's great. I did enjoy my time. I didn't get on the roller coaster, though. If you guys don't know, right down the street from the main event is a place called Adventureland. Now, I'm a roller coaster nerd, so I'm a little bit, sometimes I can bore some folks with my level of knowledge. Like sometimes I'll be at a theme park or something, and somebody asks a question like, hey, well, this roller coaster. And I go into this diatribe about the history of the company that built it, and why this guy, this engineer, and I could see them glaze over. My wife will say to me, put her hand on me. Goes, they didn't ask that. They didn't ask any of that. They just wanted to know how high it is. Oh, it's 312 feet and goes 79 miles per hour for airtime hills, and I do that shit. But the interesting thing about Adventure Time, or Adventureland, I should say, is that they have a roller coaster there there's literally only 2 in the world. Now, it's not the most exciting roller coaster in the world, but it is. It's a very unique experience where the track is behind you and the car moves. So it goes down like an S and you flop and flip all around. And I wanted to get on it so bad, but time didn't allow that. So I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I'm like, oh my God, there it is. There's only 2 in the world. The other one's in Germany. So that's a pretty cool thing. Ray Danger in the house. Should have picked that 111. There's another story right there. I don't disagree. Knobcraft's here. Wild Wave is in the house. He says the trade backs for the best part. It's funny. Can't complain about the draft. Can't complain about dumping JFM. I liked this entire offseason. Dougie really earned my admiration. So I imagine you mean Joe Dougie, meaning our general manager, Joe Dougie Douglas. I like that. Dougie Douglas. That's good. Maybe that'll stick, Knobcraft. Tony the GM is here. It's interesting because Tony is concerned about a lot of the way we're building the team. I think rightfully so. I don't share the concerns to the degree that Tony does. But one of the things that he was talking about in the offseason was Jordan Travis. So I believe Jordan Travis is an actual developmental quarterback. He's not just some late round fodder that, shot in the dark, flash in the pan hopes. I think that he can actually be somebody that turns into our guy. Like, we could literally have the guy grooming. Guys, his talent is through the roof. Now, he's got some accuracy concerns, as Dom C has pointed out. Dom C likes to say, when he misses, he misses. It's not like it's just on the fingertips. Nah, it's kind of Zach-esque with the 5 yards over his head kind of a thing. But he's got 3 years to work it out, man. So I like it. I like it a lot. Scotty's here. All you guys, Ryan, I said hello. Lucas is here. Good to see you guys. Lawrence in the house. Ryan Woodbridge. I also see Fernando Velez. Good to see you guys, man. This is a nice little Sunday hang. I was about to record GreenBean's Jets pod for tomorrow, and I just decided on a whim, you know what? I want to say hello to some people. Let me just jump in and say hi. See how we're doing, Ryan says, GreenBean, what are your thoughts on Pack drafted quarterback? But I'm not sure. The Green Bay Packers. Let me see. I don't even know who they drafted. I gotta, dude, we were live the whole time, so it was difficult to pay attention to everything going on out there. Let's see. The Packers, they drafted. I hope that's what you're saying. I mean, let's see. Let's see who they got. Come on with these articles, man. Draft class. Let's see. Packers 2024 draft class. What quarterback did they get here? Let me see. They took Jordan Morgan. Great pick. Lime Edrin Cooper. Good pick. Safety Javon Bullard. Good pick. So they did that with our pick. No. Pick 45 would have been our pick. They got Edrin Cooper with our pick. Running back Marshawn Lloyd. Tyron got a couple linebackers. Look at that. Safety Evan Williams out of Oregon with our pick 111 that we traded. They got Jacob Monk in the 5th round. Kitano Ladapo. We all liked him. I would have loved to see him taken by the Jets. Another offensive line. They're having a solid draft here. Oh, they got Pratt. That's what you're talking about. So Michael Pratt made it to pick 245, 7th round. Very interesting because a lot of Jets fans, Matt O'Leary, number one with me, is that, big Michael Pratt fan. Now, I was on the Jordan Travis train. If we're going to take one of them, I prefer Jordan Travis. I don't dislike Michael Pratt. He has arm strength concerns. And he's going to sit. He's going to sit there too. So, he's a good guy. I think this group of quarterbacks, I think all of them, obviously not the top 4. I don't really like Bo Nix very much at all. JJ McCarthy, I think, is going to be hit or miss. I could see that guy crashing and burning, but I think he could also do so. I think he has some potential. So, but I mean, other than those guys, I think the quarterback class is really kind of strong in the developmental range. You know what I mean? Like, so guys that could sit for a couple years and actually be viable backups and or have a shot to start, but all of them need time. I think it's a decent class in that respect. So I don't know. What's up? Mo Lake is here. I think see Frankie's in the house. Look at Frankie. The good thing about going to Power Scheme is if you try to load the box to stop Aaron Rodgers, will make you pay. Right. That's the thing. The last few years, guys, we talked about it ad nauseum, but one of the major concerns with the Jets offense the past couple of years was obviously, we had offensive line injuries. Obviously, we didn't have depth at the weapon levels, right? Tight ends, wide receivers, running backs, and such. But the talent that we did have is good. Garrett Wilson, Conklin, Breece Hall up top. Those guys are good. The fact that we couldn't do anything really hinged on what Frankie's kind of alluding to here. Aaron Rodgers is a different story than Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson every defense played Zach Wilson the exact same way for 3 years, which is load the box, take Breece Hall and the running attack out of it. Plus, you want to pressure Zach up the middle, just load it and send. And he was erratic enough and ineffective enough that he wasn't able to beat them. It's just that simple. So then it looks like our running game sucks, which it does because they got 7, 8, 9 in the box at all times, and we had nothing for it. So we had to watch this stagnant, ineffective offense. Like Frankie's saying here, you do that, put 8 in the box. Go ahead. Go ahead and put 8 in the box. And now we got Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams, Malachi Corley, Conklin running around out there. Dude, we're going to make you pay. Go ahead and stack the box. Mumtaz checking in. What's up, buddy? Mumtaz was with us from the word go till we signed off, man. Love Mumtaz. He says, I gave your poll a B, but would have given an A+ if we had addressed safety. But JD is not even seeing it. We had a great defense that was third worst against the run because our safeties missed too many tackles. Well, I'm right there with you. I would have liked to see a safety brought in. Now, all those trade backs for me, that's where the rub really is. I thought we could have did some damage, with higher quality players. Now, look, you could have taken Braylon Allen at 111. Nobody would have complained, right? Instead of 134, I think is where we got him. You could have taken Jordan Travis with pick 134 and nobody would have complained. You see what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, yes, you slid back. We did get next year. We got a third for next year. So that's good. That's a very positive move. But grabbing one of these safeties, Hicks, Oladapo, Cole Bishop. I think Cole Bishop went in the second. But so, the point remains. I think that if we would have just stayed where we were, you slide back a little bit if you want to gain a fifth, that's fine. But I thought there was too much moving. Now, we ended up getting some players that I really like, so I'm not going to complain about it and the third, but I'm with you. I think safety could have been addressed a little bit better. Now, Trey Key, right? Is that his name? Our 7th round pick, Mr. Irrelevant, is a safety out of Alabama. He transferred to Alabama. Decent guy. Maybe they believe, behind Tony Adams and Chuck Clark. They're good. And Ashton Davis, so we have some guys there, but we could have upgraded. Now, that said, Mumtaz, Chuck Clark, if he's on the field, is a significant upgrade as far as tackling is concerned from what Jordan Whitehead was bringing when we brought him up. Jordan Whitehead was a tackle missing machine, and it was consistent and it was aggravating to watch. So I didn't like it, watching him out there just missing tackle after tackle after tackle. It was aggravating. So I'm with you there. Tony Adams and Chuck Clark, if they stay, I think we could do worse, right? I think we could do worse, but I thought we could have added a little bit more help in the safety room, and we didn't. So, and who knows what, I want to say Kyle Stickles. It's crazy. Stiggers, right? Who knows what Stiggers will be? Hey, his story is great. We don't know, but I'm with you, man. So, and I'll close the poll in a second. 3 Amigos checking in. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. No comment, but appreciate it. Let's end the poll real fast. See what you guys think, and we'll talk about that. Let's see here. Stiggers might be a safety, right? Kyle Stiggers. Kyle Stickles, baby. Where's the poll? Come on. I ended it. It takes so long sometimes. I don't know why it's not happening. I'll check out. Oh, there it is. Okay, so overall, let's see. Most of you guys said B. 54% said B. 35% said an A. 9% said C. I only get 4 options, so I skipped the D. I would imagine some of you guys were in there. 0% F. Not bad, everybody. Not bad. So I'm right in the B+ range. B. Solid B. Solid B. Because, again, I didn't love all the trade backs. I like the third for next year. That's good. But I would rather have just kind of stocked the cupboards this year. Getting that third next year is definitely solid. But yeah, I would have loved to see a safety, and I would have loved to see us use some of that fourth and fifth capital to get to the back end of the third. We jumped up in the third for Malachi Corley. I have no issue with that. But yeah, I would have loved to see a little bit more. So I wanted to see another wide receiver. I thought the wide receivers that were running around in the fourth round, plenty of them were there that interested me. I would have loved to see that, or another offensive lineman. I would have really loved to see an interior offensive lineman. Now, have you guys seen the Jets free agent class? Alan Dode is bringing it up. Undrafted free agent class. I'll bring it up for you guys so you can see. Now, a lot of these names, nobody knows any of this shit, right? These guys, a lot of these guys are who they are, whatever. We don't know. But the interesting one is Dom C was talking about Leonard Taylor III for a little while now. He had a 4th round grade on him. So he's an interesting one. Now, a rub on him is, number one, his numbers are low. So his output is low. But word is they had him playing out of position. But the other rub is that he takes a lot of plays off. Now, maybe that's disinterest because he's being played out of position and he doesn't feel like he can be effective. Wah, wah, wah. Who knows? But it's up to the Jets defensive staff to motivate him. If there's a group, our defensive staff is solid. White Cotton, Ulbricht, right, for the defensive line, those guys. Then you got Rutenberg for the linebackers, Tony Oden and the crew for the back end. And then you got Robert Saleh. And then, not for nothing, Quinnen Williams, Jermaine Johnson, right? Hassan Reddick. Like this is a good group of guys to hang out with. So look, let's say Braden McGregor. We got another edge. I don't know anything about him. Brady Latham, a guard out of Arkansas. Trey Jenkins, a safety out of San Jose State. So strong safety linebacker kind of a guy. Jarius Monroe, defensive back out of Tulane. Chris Autumn Bell, Minnesota. Now, Tyler Harrell's interesting. Tyler Harrell is 6 foot, about 200 pounds. But he transferred a lot. So he Louisville, Alabama, Miami, and he didn't really do much, but he did have a 6 touchdown season. I believe that was for Louisville. So, he's transferring around. He's got super athleticism. He was a 4-star recruit out of Miami. He comes from Miami. So maybe there's some potential there, who knows? But, Jimmy Ciarlo, linebacker out of Army. He was a team captain. Jordan Porter, wide receiver out of Connecticut. So who knows? Again, Joe Douglas has found a couple, right? Bryce Huff was an undrafted free agent. Kenny Yeboah was an undrafted free agent. Tony Adams is an undrafted free agent. So who knows? You can find gems, but yeah. So it's going to be. This is a little bit of an underwhelming undrafted free agent class. There were some names I would have liked to see us grab. We didn't grab them. Carson Steele was the first undrafted free agent signed, everybody. I'll point that out. The priority free agent of the entire class. One Carson Steele going to the Chiefs. So, what do you guys think? What do you think of the undrafted free? I mean, right, a lot of nothing. I mean, there are years past where I liked a bunch of them. Like, holy shit, yes, we got some nice guys. Obviously, Kenny Yeboah leads that pack for me. Shit, I would have taken Kenny Yeboah with a 3rd or 4th round pick, I'm telling you. And I think that we could have used Kenny Yeboah a lot more than we have, but it is what it is. He earned himself a second contract, so that's nice. Frankie says Stiggers is his favorite player. The new Justin Hardy for this year at least. Hey, not for nothing. If that's what he ends up being, I have no issue with that. None. Rudy says he loved the first 2 picks and the trade back to get a 3rd round next year. Don't mind the additional trade backs, but the second running back, and I'm thinking Stiggers could have been an undrafted. I think Stiggers might have been able to be an undrafted guy too. It sounded like, though, Rudy, they wanted to draft him. They wanted to give him that. All the tiers and shit. So maybe that's what they want. They wanted him to be able to say he was drafted to the New York Jets into the NFL. Johnny, hey Johnny, what's up, dude? Mirahal. That's what it is. I got it right. I know I did. Frankie from Pittsburgh. Great to know you're still around. Yeah, Frankie's he's not in Pittsburgh anymore. I saw a comment. You said there's wildlife. Frankie's hearing birds. He doesn't have birds in Pittsburgh. So there you go. Good for Frankie. Frankie's hanging out in nature or some variation of it. All right, let's talk about AVT a little bit. Johnny, it's good to see you, buddy. Truly. Oh, the tears. Everybody loves Frankie, right? It's nice to see Frankie around these past couple weeks. It's nice to see Frankie around. Let's see here. So let's take a look at the fifth-year option. As you guys know, the Jets, well, let's start it this way. So the Jets traded John Franklin Myers, and we didn't get very much. We got a 2026 sixth round pick. What does that tell you? It tells you a couple things. One is that the market for him wasn't necessarily robust, right? So if that's all you could get, if somebody was willing to give you more, you're going to take more, of course. So the rumor coming out, or maybe not a rumor, but what's being reported today is that the Jets gave JFM permission to seek a trade 3 weeks ago. So we didn't know about that because the Jets are now tight-lipped now that Rex Hogan is gone, it seems. Nobody knows anything about the Jets. So they gave JFM permission to seek a trade 3 weeks ago. So his agent was out there trying to negotiate. The best they could come up with was a sixth-round pick in 2026. So that says that. So his market wasn't necessarily robust. Now, we like JFM, and I'm not going to throw stones, but to be objective and real, JFM was a piece. JFM was a rotational piece. He was solid, but he was not great. He's not a guy that I'm going to cry over. I didn't love the trade, and I definitely don't love the capital. But the other thing that it tells us is that JFM was unhappy. All right. Now the Jets, they wanted him to take a pay cut. He said no. And he went to the Broncos and he immediately signed a 2-year extension, or at least it's a 1-year extension, but a 2-year contract for less than he was making here. Now, some of the money he's going to get from us, I imagine. So maybe that helps, but it speaks kind of volumes about the relationship. So the relationship went down. Now we look about, a look into it last night. JFM in 2023 had about 34 tackles, 3.5 sacks. He had a few, 7 tackles for a loss or so, something like that. So he's an impactful guy in his role, but he played 55% of the snaps. You can do better than that. It's not like he's irreplaceable. So it's an interesting one because the relationship had deteriorated, but the Jets save about $8 million in this trade, which, by the way, could be used to sign almost the entire draft class, right? That's the larger portion of what we're going to need for the draft class in and of itself. You add the Zach Wilson trade where we recouped $2.75 million. So now we're in the almost $11 million range that the Jets just got rid of 2 guys that they, for whatever reason, Zach had to go, of course. And we're eating dead cap, just like with JFM, but you're still saving money that you're going to spend. It's like if you can save half, if you could save a chunk, and you're not going to use the guy, then you do it. So they could have used JFM, but they clearly feel like they don't need to. You brought on Kinlaw, you have Solomon Thomas, you brought on Leaky Fotu for the interior. You also brought on Hassan Reddick. You got Will McDonald that you want to give time to on the end. You still got Michael Clemens for that kind of role player piece. And obviously you have Jermaine Johnson. So, I mean, it's still a stacked house. Quinnen Williams, of course, so it's still a stacked house. Now, I don't love it because of the compensation, but it could be argued that getting rid of that contract, you could also argue that it's what enabled them to extend AVT. So let's, or not extend, but to give him his 5th-year option, engage the 5th-year option. So here's what the 5th-year options look like. for this year, for this class, right? For this year's class. So you got, where is he? So right here at number 14, Elijah Vera Tucker. Now, he didn't trigger any of these. If you guys know, playtime, depending on the playing time, he could go up to another million. If one Pro Bowl, it goes up. Greater than one Pro Bowl, it goes up. He didn't reach any of those. So playing time, one Pro Bowl, or obviously greater than one Pro Bowl. So it's looking like 15,313,000 for his 5th year. So we have him now for this year and next year. Now that also speaks volumes as far as their belief that AVT is going to be fine. He's a rock solid guy in the event he plays, right? I mean, it's a weird situation with him because it's not a nagging injury that you're seeing. It's not Beckham with the knee, right? It's not the knee thing. He had an elbow injury in 2022. And then last year he popped his Achilles because everybody was popping their Achilles. We were the Achilles team, right? We had all kinds of Achilles. We lost Al Woods to an Achilles. We lost Aaron Rodgers to an Achilles. We lost AVT to an Achilles. Years ago, guys, I remember we didn't see an Achilles injury for years, a decade. Wouldn't see one. Now 3 in 1 year after Marcus May with an Achilles. I mean, we have all these Achilles injuries. It's got to be something going on around here. I don't like it. So, but that's what we're looking at here. So Mac Jones didn't get his. Elijah Vera Tucker got his. J.C. Horn got his. Look at these guys. No incentives. Waddle gets his with, he gets the playing time incentive, no Pro Bowls. Trevor Lawrence got a play time. Kyle Pitts gets 1 Pro Bowl, so he goes up $3 million. But Rashawn Slater, but look at this. That whole class, man. Total of 2 Pro Bowls for the whole class. Isn't that something? When you think about that 2021 draft class and all the freaking out and all the stuff that we had, all the opinions and concerns and yelling about this, that, and the other thing. 2 guys. Oh, no, that's wrong. So 5 guys. So my bad, because 3 guys made it. So Jamar Chase made it to more than 1 Pro Bowl. Patrick Surtain made it to more than 1 Pro Bowl, and Micah Parsons. But out of 32 picks, 5 Pro Bowls. 5 guys made it to a Pro Bowl. It's pretty crazy. And then you look at the playtime incentive, only Trevor Lawrence, Jalen Waddle, Justin Fields, Mac Jones, Jamin Davis, Christian Darrisaw, Najee Harris. Greg, look at the running back thing. The poor running backs, man. $6 million. That's it. So really an interesting draft class as far as their success thus far. But yeah, man. So that's all. So out of all the 5th-year option opportunities, AVT, we chose to do him because it's more on potential. Because we didn't, the injury thing is really, it's real. 2 years in a row, we lost him. And his rookie year, he was banged up, but he played every game, but he was banged up. So, anyway, I think it's a good thing. Now, I don't know the correlation between JFM and AVT, but losing JFM, while it is a big deal in the sense of our defensive line rotation, and we liked him and he was solid, it's not a guy that it's not a guy that I'm brokenhearted about, because JFM's output is not really all that concerning, and he played a lot. Let's look at his stats. So let's just take a look real quick. We'll go to our trusty Pro Football Reference, my favorite for statistics. So you look at this, JFM. This is the snap allocation. So in 2021, he played 64%. And the last couple of years, right in the same pocket. 2022, 57%. And 2023, 55%. 643 and 627. So we'll just look at those last couple of years for statistics here. So, And again, statistics aren't the whole story, guys, but it's what we got to look at. So we'll take a look. So he had 5 sacks in 2022. This was the year where he got the contract, right? Maybe it was here, yeah. So he's solid. You see 6, 5, 3.5 last year, 33 tackles, 15 of which were solo. 6 tackles for a loss, 14 quarterback hits, 3 passes defensed. You got to stop doing that. Lester Block. I think they're batted passes, which is positive. But this is not, production that you can't duplicate, guys, or replicate. You know what I mean? Jonathan Francois, thank you, buddy. He says, I don't get the JFM love. He was solid but overpaid. Well, and that's the thing. They decided that the money wasn't worth it. No, it's kind of douchey if you look at his contract. We could look at his contract real fast. Because from what I understand, the money he was just about to start making the actual money. That's what I think. So let's take a look here. This is a new so come on, let me see the contract history. Okay, so he gets it in 2000. Where is this? So 2000. This is where I need Ryan. I get lost in the sauce. So this is where 2000. He gets this contract. So cap hit of, or the salary of 12 million. Last year he made 1 million. The cap number of 4 million here. So you see that. So he got his money here because of the bonus, right? His roster bonus, $10 million roster bonus. So what's left? Yeah, see, I don't know. I'm the wrong guy. I shouldn't even fucking open this shit up between you and me. Let's get that out of here. Fucking old man with I can't count. So again, you look at the production, though. Let's just look at the production. Not that it's not good, and it's not that JFM isn't a valued player. I think he's solid. But I didn't love their insistence on using him at the end position. I thought that he was not all that effective of an edge setter. He got sucked in far too often for me. And, it's not, I thought he should have been inside exclusively. If there's a package where he's outside, if you're going to, putting the bigs out there, that's fine. But I like JFM on the inside. They used him a little bit more on the inside last year, but they have this insistence on him being on the outside. And I thought that should be Bryce Huff. Last year, Will McDonald. Like, let's get JJ and Will McDonald out there. Why is JFM out there? So I think this opens it up. We got Hassan Reddick. We got Will McDonald. So the guys are there, for the defensive end. Obviously, Jermaine Johnson and Michael Clemens. I believe he should. That experiment of adding weight to Michael Clemens, not the best thing in the world. Michael Clemens' production isn't all that far from. By the way, we have this kind of, this thought that Michael Clemens is a bum. He's not a bum. Michael Clemens spells his name weird. One M, but it's Michael Micheal, which is different for me. Let's take a look at Michael Clemens real quick, just so you guys can see it. All right, so he played 35% of the snaps. You see here. So look at it. So it's a different level. Like JFM's playing 20% more snaps than Michael Clemens. He had about 300 more plays in that 20%. So he had I think it was 640 plays. So Michael Clemens was on the field for defensive plays, 368 snaps. Okay. So, and then you look at his production here. So he had a half sack last year. So JFM had 3 sacks more. He had a forced fumble, which JFM didn't have. That's good. But then, JFM had 33 tackles. He had 27. JFM had 15 solo. He had 14. JFM had 6 or 7 tackles for a loss. Michael Clemens had 2. Where he really, really separates is he had 14 quarterback hits and and Michael Clemens had 1. So they're different, But with 20% more snaps, we're not looking at vastly different production here, guys. Do you see it? And this is with an experiment of Michael Clemens kind of putting on weight and everything. So I'm not all that out on Michael Clemens, especially if we're going to talk about losing JFM as a big deal. Michael Clemens is significantly cheaper. He's younger, right? JFM is 28 or 27. How old's this guy? He's 26. He's a year younger. Nothing to write home about. Nothing big. But he's a little bit younger. He's significantly cheaper. And the production is in the same pocket. You guys see it? Do you agree? Let's see. Clemens played more special teams as well, I believe. Yeah. So look at this too. Here's another thing, man. He also played 35% of special teams in 2023. He played 55% of specials the year before. So that's another aspect that he's given you that JFM is really not. Scott says the draft wore me out. The draft wore you out. Let me just tell you, it's a hard thing, man. The draft is an emotional expenditure, but I'll tell you, Scott, this is what my last few days looked like, buddy. I'm not comparing. I'm just using your comment as a reason to talk about this. That's all. But you look at Wednesday, I worked all day. I left work, jumped on the train to Baltimore, went to Baltimore, picked up a car, drove to Long Island the next day, did the whole setup and the live stream, the live event and everything, went to sleep at like 1:30, jumped in my car at 6:30 in the morning, drove 7 hours and change to Virginia, went live a couple hours later. We were live till midnight, and then we went live again for 7 hours yesterday. So I think it was 7.5 hours of live streaming yesterday. So I'm wiped. I'm wiped out, dude. But it's the best. I love it, man. I got to meet so many of you guys up at the event, and then obviously in our live streams. I love the draft live streams. It's my favorite thing every year, but it takes a toll, man. It takes a toll. Who we got here? Oh, T. Rivera. He was at the event. Nice, man. Got to meet him. Love your analysis. For me, Bean, I'd rather lose JFM and gain AVT all day. And to put it into context, we overpaid for JFM. To me, he was good stopping good stopping the run, bad at edge. I feel the same way. That's exactly how I feel. I like JFM. Don't get me wrong, right? I like JFM fine. But I'm not broken up that he's the guy that we lost. Out of all the guys on our defensive line, he would have been the one guy. If I had to lose somebody, it would have been JFM. That's the truth of it. And that includes Michael Clemens. I like Michael Clemens. I think Michael Clemens also brings a little bit of nasty that other people don't bring. Now, he got a little bit too nasty last year. That shit, the after the one game, the Buffalo game, chasing him into the tunnel, I could do without that. But remember the Michael Clemens pointing at the fans, fuck you, fuck that. That's funny to me. Everybody was so mad about it. I wasn't mad about that. I think what he was doing the scene with Jim Brewer, right? With in the Half Baked, right? Fuck you, you're cool. Fuck you. Remember? That was funny. I mean, I thought it was funny. Michael Clemens is funnier than people give him credit for. I tell you, when I met him at camp, I saw him. I said, "Hey, what's up, Michael?" I didn't say. I said, "Hey, what's up, man?" And he grabs my hand. He puts his other hand down. He goes, "Hi, I'm Michael." I said, "Yeah, I know who you are." "Hello, I'm Michael." I was like, "Yep." He's a fucking funny guy, man. He's just, he has that dry, funny thing to him. Now, we could do without the bat, the Walking Dead bat, right? I don't know. It's like a weird thing. Like, you can have fun. And I prefer to have fun. I prefer when our team personalities come out and they're having a good time. But the other thing, you gotta win. You gotta win some games, man. Because when you don't win, all that fun stuff goes right out the window, and you end up you're looking like an asshole. It's like what's his name? Cannizzaro, right? Or no, what the hell? Not Cannizzaro. The Post writer. What's his name? Somebody put him in there. Football is fun. Remember that? Zach Wilson. Football is fun. He's got to be reminded. Football is fun, dude. Relax. You're too tight, kid. But what was that? The guy, he's complaining about the Taylor Ham thing with Mike Williams. Who would complain about that? It was beautiful. It was fun, man. Have some fun. That's right. I forgot to remind everybody. Don't forget to hit the milk thumbs, man. Got 500 people in here today. A lot of on Twitter. Let me see. All right, 300 on YouTube and almost 200 on Twitter. So if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. We're out here. We're doing this thing. It helps. And if you haven't hit that like button, please do that too. Smash those milk thumbs. And on Twitter, hey man, give me a follow. Give me a follow on Twitter if you don't mind. On X, if you don't mind. SpaceX. Music Man checking in. This draft was worth every minute watching. You, Matt, Ryan, and company were great. Now, thank you, dude. I mean, it's I'll tell you, Friday night, I was wiped. I couldn't even hold my head up. People were in the chat saying, go to sleep. Let GreenBean go. That's what they were saying. That's funny. Well, I appreciate it. I'm glad you guys were there. What's up, Sluggo? Good to see you. Funny like a clown. Well, clowns aren't funny. So if that's what you're saying, I think it's funny. You know, I'll tell you what, even if it's not funny, like if it's not tapping into your humor bone, that's cool. But it's definitely not like people were in an uproar about it. I don't know. It didn't hit me like that. I thought it was totally different. Right. The barbed wire bat thing was a little much. That's what I'm saying. I was like, okay, and it's cute. It's cute, but maybe a little much, buddy. Maybe come out and do something. But if the Jets, let me tell you this, if Aaron Rodgers stayed healthy last year and the Jets won 10 games and made it into the playoffs and maybe even won a playoff game, all that shit doesn't have the same feel to it. It's a team that loves each other, is getting along, and are allowed to have some fun. And they're winning games. If Aaron Rodgers didn't go down, it's a totally different thing. We all felt good going into the September 11th game last year, didn't we? What's his name, though? Costello. Thank you, Curly. Kaz, they call him. That's right. Who's Canizero? What? He's another one, isn't he? I'm getting lost in the sauce here. Jets fans are undefeated. Yeah, we're the best. I maintain we are the best. The best. And that includes all the shit that we're the worst at. Like, we're the worst. We are the worst. But that makes us the best. I like to tell you guys about it. A lot of the younger fans don't remember Giant Stadium. Now, a lot of you older fans will. But there was a time, I've been to, I don't know, man. So many Jets games. It's got to be close to 100. 50, 70, something like that, right? So I went to every game for a very long time. And then even in the years I didn't go to every game, I would go to 3, go to, 4, that kind of a thing. So, but for years, since I'm younger, I've been going to games every single halftime. You kind of make your way out to the outside. We used to smoke a little grass out there. Grass. But every single time, man, for decades, every Jets fan would go around the top of those turnstile walking things, the walking circles, There's a circular walkway, and down the middle, there's just like an open tube, like space. And at the bottom, there's pavement. And every year, every game, every single game for decades, I would go out there, I'd smoke a little grass, and I'd watch Jets fans throw money down in the middle of that thing. And they would yell, "Get the money! Get the money!" every week. And every week, I started thinking it was like some staff member that they would just put in the opposing team's jersey every week because it was so consistent. Every week without fail, somebody usually wearing the opposing team that we're playing's jersey. Sometimes it wasn't, but most of the time, somebody without fail would climb over that little fence into the inside, all the dollar bills falling, singles and quarters and all the shit falling down. Somebody would go in there and try to get that money, and the onslaught of beer and cheese and hot dogs, nachos, just, 1,000 people at the same time, just throwing food and beer and soda and all kinds of shit every week for years. Now, if that doesn't make us the worst and the best at the same time, I have no idea where you even come from, because that's what we are, the absolute worst. And therefore, we are the absolute undeniable best, in my opinion, dude. That was one of my favorite things to do. I go, here we go. Let's go get the money. Get the money. You guys remember that? Who did that with me? Come on, anybody remember that? What stadium? That was Giant Stadium. Sad to say. I know. What are you going to do? That was the most annoying thing in the world. We'd pull up by the thousands and we'd look at this big stadium, which, by the way, was a great stadium. That stadium was amazing. That was the best friggin' MetLife pales in comparison to Giant Stadium. As far as the loud, the bowl, the wind, like everything about it. We were so close to this field. MetLife, I feel like I'm miles away at MetLife. But yeah, Giant Stadium. But we would pull up, and what did we see? It was a big fucking Giant sign on the Giants. It's not like Giant. It was in their logo, Giant Stadium. We had to do that, walk into that shit every week. I hated it. That was the rub. That was the rub, man. Does anybody have better stories than GreenBean? Yeah, well, I'm hoping some of you guys have these stories with me. Yeah, right, Paula? And Paula remembers. I can't believe that I call it great. Yeah, that's why I did it, Scott. Smoking some grass. Smoking a doob. A doobie. The stories are good, right? But anybody remember that? Who was there with me? Philly. Now, look, Matt, Philly fans are just the worst. They don't have our brand of the worst is the best. They just a bunch of assholes. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing to throw nacho cheese on somebody. It's another thing entirely to fucking throw batteries. You see what I mean? See the difference? You see it? You get nacho cheese on you. You're like, that sucks. Oh, man, I got nacho cheese. You spray a little water on your face and you move on with your day. You get pegged in the corner of the eye with a battery. Different story. Although I did stab someone with an umbrella one time. Buffalo Bills fan. Outside the stadium. Remember the old walkway from the stadium to the arena before they built Xanadu, wherever the shit is now? You know what I play? The old arena, there was that metal walkway. We would go and just bang on it was like loudest place in the world. Right outside there, these 3 or 4 Buffalo fans were giving us crap. And the guy kicked we had this little, those little charcoal grills are like $5. The little pan, with a grate on it. You throw charcoal in here and the guy kicked it. After a game, we beat him, and he kicked it, and that was it. We got up, and I had an umbrella. I don't know why I had an umbrella, so I wouldn't say stab, but I poked him. Sometimes you got to stab a guy with an umbrella. That's all I'm saying, Mitt. That's all I'm saying is sometimes, every now and then, you just got to poke somebody with an umbrella. I don't know, like a big, long black one, like the businessmen in the 60s would use. One of those. I don't know what the hell I was doing with it. Maybe it was raining. I forget. Mitt Flair says, who is your early favorite draft pick? Got to go with Jordan Travis, second place being Olu. My favorite draft pick is Braylon Allen. That's the one. I love Olu Fashanu. Love it. That was, you guys know, I was team O-line. Now, I was happy, especially if Rome Odunze was there, or if we were able to pull it off and trade up to 9 or so. Just if we came with Rome Odunze, I would have been ecstatic. Brock Bowers, I would have been okay. Because I do believe he's talented and I think he's going to be a success in the NFL. So I wouldn't have been unhappy with that. But I didn't want that. What I wanted was O-line. This was a very strong class. You know what I mean? I saw an opportunity, man. Just get the O-line's been the scourge next to quarterback for the New York Jets for far too long. And I wanted it. So I love Olu. I love Malachi Corley, dude. He was one of the 3 or 4 wide receivers in that range that I really liked. Obviously, I like Malik Washington. He lasted significantly longer than I thought. A lot of you guys were right. I was wrong on that one. I hate that he went to the Dolphins. I believe we're gonna hate him. Just hold on 1 second. Hey, I'm live, so I'm gonna be getting off in 2 minutes and taking him. All right, bye. I got to take my son to work. Teen Bean works at Walmart. Isn't that great? So I got to go in a second. But yeah. So, but Braylon Allen, it's like once you get into like the 4th round, it's hard to peg guys. The fact that they took the running back that I wanted, the guy, and then as Isaiah Davis, even though I thought it was weird they took 2 running backs, the fact that we got 2 of my top 3 running backs, guys, for the Jets. The only other guy was Audric Estime. He went over to where did he go? He went to the Saints, maybe. I forget where he went. He went somewhere, for sure, somewhere. Mr. Excessive Tackles. I ran in the circle. I collected $45, got doused with alcohol, chased by security, ran down the road, took off my hat and jersey. Really? So you went in there? That's great. I hope that's real. Even if it's not, that's funny, Mr. Excessive Tackle. But see, that's great. There were days where like $5 bills and $10 bills I thought about. I'm going to go down there. I'll fucking wear some cheese, beer. Why not? I got beer all over me anyway. I'm a drunk slob. So why not? That's great, dude. That's great. But I like the Jordan Travis pick too. I know, Team Beat. So listen, I got to run. Guys, this was fun. I'm going to be putting out I'll come back and record the podcast. That's him now. He's like, dude, we got to go. With that all said, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. Draft is good. We'll be talking about it. I'll be back a little bit later. We'll hang out. Have a great rest of your day. With that said, let's see what I do here. I'm just going to get out of here. That's what we'll do. We'll do this one. Nice shorty. Guys, have a great day. I'll see you next time.